My name is Albert, and I'm excited to introduce you to the best podcast out there. It's Disney Conversation, the unofficial Disney World family vacation podcast. Say hello to Splash, Sparkles, and T-Bone.
Welcome back to another Disney Conversation. We're glad you're here with us today. This is Disney Conversation number 7, and you can find us several different ways. You can go on the web if you want to see the video version to disneyconversation.com. You can see the video version there, or you can subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Disney Conversation. Well, let's meet the crew today.
Hey guys,
who's with us?
Flash here. I'm back.
Hey, I'm Sparkles. Again.
T-Bone's here too.
Well, we've got a full house today, so it's good to have you guys back. Y'all ready to get into the news?
The
Bring it on.
news.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Well, let's start with something that I'm having a hard time pronouncing, and it's something that I've actually looked up to see. I've seen it pronounced several different ways, but we're going to go with the word Tajin. Tajin seasoning. It's a fruit seasoning, and to tell you just a little bit about what you do with this seasoning, it's actually a secret at Walt Disney World that you can ask, and they will actually put that on your next Dole Whip if you ask for it. So I know you guys like Dole Whips. So what is Tajin? Well, it's a Mexican company. It produces several different kinds of condiments, and they're mostly made up of chili peppers, lime, and salt. One of the most popular is the Tajin fruit seasoning, and it's made up of exactly that: chili peppers, salt, and dehydrated lime juice. It's tangy and spicy, and it enhances the flavor of fruits and vegetables. So first question to our experts today is, do you mess with the Dole Whip, and are you going to ask for Tajin seasoning and get a packet the next time you go to Disney World?
I would have to say no, because I think Dole Whips are fine just the way they are. But
I'm going to say no too, because when I get a Dole Whip, I want it for the sweet. I don't necessarily want it spicy, I don't think. I'm sure it tastes good, but I'm not sold on the spicy Dole Whip yet.
Yeah, same. I think there are definitely people out there who would love something like that, but I agree. I just keep it the way it is.
Well, for you guys that have never been to the Magic Kingdom to get a Dole Whip, and I guess you can get it at maybe the Polynesian Resort as well, or at least you could in the past. There's 2 different ways to order the Dole Whip. You can get it like ice cream soft serve in a cup, or you can get it in a float where they put in pineapple juice and they put the ice cream in it, just like a Coke float, except it's a pineapple float. So I don't know which one's better. We've had them both ways. What do you order the next time?
The
Soft
float.
serve.
No, the float.
I would have to say the float, because it does give you a little more for your money, which is kind of worth it. And you get some good pineapple juice.
The juice just enhances it, you know? You
It
can't
give
go
me-
wrong with the extra juice.
I will forever go with the float. I mean, not float. Dang it. The soft serve.
We all know you want the float.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wish.
What about you?
You know, I'll take it either way. But here's the thing: is that the best snack at Walt Disney World?
I say yes. I have a friend that vetoes it. She thinks the popcorn is the best thing ever. I think.
It just depends on how many of the snacks at Disney World you've actually tried. I know we haven't had all of them, so it would be a little harder to pick considering we haven't had them all, but I think it's definitely up there.
Our last day there at Epcot, this last trip, we got a Mickey bar, and that was pretty hard to beat. That was
Yeah.
good. I mean, just a classic Mickey bar.
I would say if you were in the Magic Kingdom, it's probably one of the best to get, but if you're at any other park, they really don't sell them there at all. So, I mean,
Well, what are some other snacks you can compare it to besides like regular ice cream? I'm trying to think now what all you can get.
Well, probably the most iconic is the Mickey bars, the vanilla ice cream dipped in chocolate. It's probably, I don't know. We've had cookies.
Yeah.
We've had some different things. Starbucks is becoming more and more popular, and that's something we've done while we're there.
Can't pass a Starbucks.
I don't know. I think
I have to be in the mood for it, for a Dole Whip. You know, I mean, I'm always in the mood for it, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite all the time. I don't think.
I guess we'll have to give a shout out to Sparkles there. The last time we went, she actually made Dole Whip shirts.
Yeah,
And
I did. We got so many comments about him too. I was so proud.
it had, well, describe them to us. What did
Okay.
you put on those shirts?
I had two of them. I made one for me and my mom, and it just had like an eye, then a pineapple, and then it said Dole Whips. And then for the boys, I made hashtag Dole Whip shirts and just painted a pineapple on it. And they were simple, but I saw actually the idea the trip before the last trip we took. And I saw someone with a tank top, I think, or something of it. But cool shirts. You get a lot of comments.
A lot of the cast members really did like them. We got lots of cast members come up and tell you how much they like those shirts.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was neat.
All right. Well, thumbs up to the Dole Whips. Does everybody give it a thumbs up?
Oh, yeah.
I give it 2.
All
Two
right.
thumbs.
Well, we'll get one next time we go.
Thank you.
Let's see. Our next story comes from Cosmopolitan Magazine Online, and they do a lot of Disney stories, it seems. One this past week described where a study was done by a group called The Pudding. They did some research, and what they did is they looked at all the Disney films, animated films, and they broke down how much the character said by gender, male, female. And before we get into the story, just real quick, who do you think talks more in Disney movies, men or women?
I think it depends on what movies you're looking at, because I feel like back a long time ago, it probably would have been a lot more male. But now,
Especially in movies like Toy Story, where Woody and Buzz are both male and they're main characters.
I mean, yeah, then you also have to take into consideration of all of the princess movies. So,
And movies like Frozen and
Yeah.
Cinderella and all that.
Well, according to Cosmopolitan, it says there's no denying that Disney definitely gives more speaking lines to men than women. And they went through Pixar films too. And what they were looking for is something that was gender neutral, where men and women basically had about the same amount of lines in the films. They did find some that were pretty balanced. Frozen was pretty balanced. The Incredibles, Into the Woods, and Tarzan. And of course, Tarzan didn't actually speak, I don't think, but in the movie as a whole, it was pretty balanced between men and women. Films with more female speaking parts, Maleficent, Alice in Wonderland, Inside Out, and on top of that list was Sleeping Beauty. Movies that had more male voices being heard, Aladdin, The Rescuers Down Under, Toy Story, Up, Monsters, Inc. And at the top of the list, The Jungle Book, where 98% of the lines spoken were by males.
I didn't think about that one.
I mean, the Jungle Book doesn't surprise me, though, because there's literally no females in that movie except for the snake had a female in the new one, and then there's a girl at the end of the animated one. But
Also,
and
Mowgli's.
like the mom wolf and all that. But other than that, it was really just completely males.
Well, does it matter to you guys? I mean, y'all grew up in a little bit different world than those of us who are a little older. Do you care about gender equality when it comes to speaking parts in movies? And did you ever even once think about this question?
Not until I saw this article, honestly.
I never really thought about it because I don't really think it matters. I mean, if you can have a good movie, I mean, I don't really personally think it matters about gender equality when it comes to speaking roles.
I didn't think about it, honestly. I just kind of agreed with Tyler. There was like, it's a movie, it's whatever. But I do think there should be equality, especially now. Yeah.
I think as long as it's got a good storyline and the cast, is
It's good.
I mean,
But we should still be up there, the female voice.
I didn't say you
Millennial.
shouldn't be, but I don't think they should compromise part of the storyline just to balance things out.
They shouldn't compromise it, but
Millennial.
more than nothing.
Yeah. Well, but if there's not a female part in the movie, I don't think they should add one just to have it.
Okay.
If that's just not needed in the movie, then it's not needed.
Looking at the list, it appears, of course, we said the Jungle Book was on top with 98%. Monsters Inc. was right there at 97%. And as you go down the list, I mean, Ratatouille, Lion King, Monsters University, Hercules, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Toy Story 3, Mulan, Finding Nemo, Star Wars Episode 7, Beauty and the Beast, they're all above 70%. So it's definitely male dominated, even though the princesses are there. They don't seem to say just a whole lot. I was surprised, to be honest, to see Beauty and the Beast above 70%. I would think Belle spoke a lot in Beauty and the Beast, but it didn't really.
I thought that too, but there's also a lot of male characters in there more than female, so I see that. Yeah.
Well, do you think that that we should be concerned and let Disney know that we want gender equality in this regard? I think I heard T-Bone say a minute ago that it didn't really matter to him, and I think I heard Sparkle say it did matter to her. So, Splash, break the tie here. Which way are you going to go?
I personally don't think that is a big deal in movies. I mean, if there's not the part there for that part, then I don't think that they should change the movie just to fill that gap. I mean, if it's not needed and it's a great movie, I'd rather go see a good movie.
Agreed.
That is still, maybe it's still good, but it's not the best because they had to add an extra part that wasn't necessary.
No, just saying that because it's males that dominate it, but that's whatever.
No,
Okay,
I mean,
you need to
seriously, I
stop.
don't care if it's a male or a female dominant. If it's a good movie, I want to go see a good movie. And I don't want there to be extra fluff that takes away from that.
I'm just fluff.
Okay, well, we will give Splash the last word on that. So, all right. Let's go to our next story. Here was a question brought up by Rob Bricken this past week, and his question was, what's the best order to watch all of the Star Wars movies? If you're going to watch them, all of them, starting this weekend, what order should you watch them in? I bet you have an opinion about this, guys, but let me just tell you, there is something called the Machete Order out there. If you Google it, you'll find it. The Machete Order says that people should watch Episode 4, A New Hope, first, then Empire Strikes Back, then back up and do the 3 prequels before watching Return of the Jedi. And the reason for that is, and why it's so popular, is that it preserves that Luke, I am your father moment with Darth Vader to the end when he does that reveal. But now that we've gotten 2 other movies out, Force Awakens and Rogue One, there's a lot of controversy right now about where those should go. You guys have an opinion about what order to watch those movies in?
I think you should watch it in the order that the events occur. So for me personally, I would start with episode 1 and then do 2, 3, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, now 7.
And then soon, episode 8. Woo!
I mean, I agree with that, but I also I understand where they're coming from of the whole Vader is Luke's father reveal, because that is a big thing. That's a really big thing. So yeah, I think I agree with the machete order more.
Well, then it comes down to, do you already know that? Because that's a pretty famous quote, Luke, I
Right.
am your father.
But if you don't know that,
You don't know the context of it.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know.
true.
I think I would get more out of 4, 5, and 6 if I knew what led up to that. Because 4, 5, and 6 I like better than 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would appreciate why the Empire is so bad if I knew what led up to that point, if that makes sense.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sitting here thinking, I don't even care about 1, 2, and 3. I mean, there were some parts in it that are okay, but
I think-
if you threw those out, and I could live without them. What do y'all think about that?
I think the only one out of 1, 2, and 3 that you might need to watch would be the third one. The first and second are just there for backstory purposes. That yes, they're made, but you probably, if you were gonna keep the third one, but that's it.
Well, because the third one has the most action out of the
Exactly. And it shows the whole Anakin going to Vader, betrayal of the good side, and Obi-Wan, all of that stuff.
3. Mhm. Well, would you keep Rogue One in there, or would you start at 4?
Well, if it were me, I would definitely, I would do Rogue One, then 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I was terribly disappointed with episodes 1, 2, and 3. I mean, I kind of liked knowing where Darth Vader came from, but the movies themselves, I don't know. I'm not a big fan.
Because it goes from, no offense, but pretty much kind of boring childhood to love story to then it's action. So yeah,
I would like to keep the ending of episode 3 because I think it's really pivotal to see Anakin become Darth Vader and to see the Chancellor become, Darth Sidious and
Yeah.
the Empire. But I think that's the only big takeaway that I get from those 3 movies in general.
Is Padme an important character, you think?
it's good that she's their mother, but I love her. But
Eh.
Well, I don't know. She dies, and that's kind of it. After that, then they
Yeah.
take Luke and Leia and separate them. But once Padme dies, that's just it. It's sad, but it's just like, oh, it's done.
Well, as much as I've disliked episodes 1, 2, and 3, I seem to get really excited about 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, I was a little hesitant at first when they first announced that. I've been impressed so far. 7 and Rogue One, I thought were great movies.
yeah,
So
All right. Well, let's watch Star Wars this weekend, and we'll see what order we pick.
let's do it.
All right. Our next story comes from Southern Living Online, another magazine, and they led with the headlines that a beloved Walt Disney World attraction may soon be extinct, and they lead with making the statement that losing a beloved attraction is always very sad. And we know that Disney has closed attractions in the past. And we all know that, the last time we were at Hollywood Studios, how much of that park is closed off and they're changing it. But this story actually has to do with Epcot. And some rumors and some information came out this past week that the Disney Corporation is going to do something with the area where Bill Nye the Science Guy and Ellen DeGeneres' attraction called Ellen's Energy Adventure is about to change. There were actually some project information filed about water retention and drainage stuff around that. It looks like they're fixing to do a major build there. Now, what they're going to put there, we don't know. But the question is, are you going to miss some of these older Epcot attractions, which do seem to be way past their prime?
We haven't done that one in several trips.
Mhm.
We tried on the last one because we needed something to do, but it was closed. We missed it by like 15 minutes. I think that I would personally enjoy if they put the Guardians of the Galaxy right there.
Yeah. I feel like it would draw in more people.
Well, assuming that that's a roller coaster, are you ready for a new coaster at Walt Disney World?
Yes.
I need something to compete with the Rock and Roller Coaster. Nothing will ever beat the Rock and Roller Coaster, but having something else like that, I think would be really cool. And I think Guardians of the Galaxy would be a good theme for that.
I agree. I also think Epcot needs
more kind of
every
thrill.
other park has a main roller coaster. Animal Kingdom has Mission Everest. Obviously, Hollywood Studios has Rock and Roller Coaster, and then Magic Kingdom has its roller coasters. Like, oh gosh, they have a bunch of them there. But Epcot, besides Fast Track, doesn't really have anything fast-wise. So I think this would be, if they did build a roller coaster right there, especially Guardians of the Galaxy, that'd be cool. And
Some people, right. Some people say Test Track is like a roller coaster, but I totally disagree.
Yeah.
It does have the fast loop at the end, but it doesn't have that roller coaster feel to me. I've never considered it a roller coaster. Have y'all?
I haven't either.
No. You're right. About the last 10 seconds, it goes, 60 miles an hour?
Yeah.
That's it.
But the whole, yeah, you're right. It's not a roller coaster. But I feel like the overall theme of Epcot is not about thrill. It's about innovation.
That's true.
So, does that really go along with Epcot in general?
Innovative roller coaster.
Right, but then, look what else is there. You've got, what's the ride that takes you through and it shows like futuristic gardening? And like
it's in the ball.
farm. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, there's that. And then there's,
no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So does it have a place in Epcot, I guess is what I'm trying to ask, if you put a fast roller coaster like that?
Well, Living with the Land and all those different types of informational rides, they're okay. I enjoy, and I really like to see the gardening that they're doing and that kind of stuff. It's always the same. And I know we eat it in the restaurants and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of cool. But I think as a family, we live for the roller coaster fast passes.
Yeah.
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 That's true. Yeah, we plan our days around those.
Right. So it would be nice to add another one at Epcot because think about it. Right now, other than Mission Space, is there a go-to ride at Epcot that you think, yeah, let's go do that?
Besides like Test Track or something, not really.
Well, we do Test Track, but I just don't have this burning desire to go do it.
Yeah.
It's just
And
one of the
considering how
more
long the
thrilling
line
things
is.
there. But you're right. At Epcot, it's really only Mission Space that it's like, yeah, we've got to go do that.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they put in there.
Mm-hmm.
So Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a lot of talk because it has been that way for years that they were going to build some type of ride roller coaster deal there at Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, time will tell. We'll find out. That leads us to our last story, and it kind of has to do with that question of what are they going to put there. Robert Niles of the Orange County Register. He's a columnist there, and he was asking this question: will future amusement park rides be based on original ideas and not so much movies anymore? I mean, we're sitting here calling for a roller coaster based on Guardians of the Galaxy, but it appears that Universal Studios there in Orlando has just built a new splash park, Mr. Splash, a new water park there, and they have based it around a story of the Waturi people. They've made up of these people that are supposed to be from the South Pacific, and they call it Volcano Bay, and they are the whole backstory with different themes and stuff to the different rides. It is not based on a movie. So I guess our question from Robert is this: do we expect everything to be movie based? Pandora, all this movie stuff, Frozen, all these new rides. What about just making something up just for the ride itself? What do you think about that?
I think that could start to pop up a little more, but I don't think it would ever get to the point where most of the rides at a park would be original, because I just feel like Disney, you can enjoy a ride more if it's based, like, I know we enjoy rides based on movies, and I don't think it would be kind of as special, because if it's based on a movie like Pandora, it's supposed to be kind of immersive, like you're immersed in the world. And if it's based on something original, you don't really get to understand it a whole lot. Like Star Wars rides, you understand it because you've seen it so much. And you don't really get to understand it a whole lot if it's not based on something you know.
Exactly. I think you can relate to a ride that's based off of a movie. You know, I feel like there's a little bit of investment there because you've seen the movie and you understand after that, you know, the characters, the plot, like you understand why things are a certain way on the ride then because you've seen the movie. But if it's just your first time going into the ride, you don't have that investment there. And so you're seeing it all for the first time. And I feel like I wouldn't care as much because I have no background connection to it, if that makes sense.
And in a ride, they wouldn't be able to explain as much as they would be able to in a movie.
Sparkles, any thoughts about this question?
I think it's a really good idea because it is original, and I get them wanting to be original just because so many theme parks are already based off of movies. You can't really go much more with movies. So I like the idea. I think it's a good idea, but I agree with the whole you don't know it or you haven't known it, so you can't love it as much because things like Star Wars and Pandora, people really love that, so they're more willing to go to a theme park based on something they love. People still go to this park. They just won't love it and have the connection as much, like they said, with it. So I don't know. I like it, but I don't know how well it'll do.
All right. Well, like we said a minute ago, time will tell. We'll see. Of course, Disney, they're going to tie in these rides to movies because they're also selling merchandise and everything's kind of a package together for them. And that's how they make as much money as they do. But,
exactly.
But I'm not so sure that we don't like it that way, if I'm understanding you guys right.
I like the whole movie, idea. Because it's an extension of the movie, That makes sense.
Speaking of the tie-ins with the movies, Pandora opens in just a couple of days. And so there's lots of information from people coming out about the previews. And from what I've heard and read, everybody says it's an incredible addition to Animal Kingdom. It's very immersive. And I've not really heard anything bad about it. So are you guys looking forward to seeing Pandora soon?
Oh, yeah.
I am.
I can't
It's going to
wait.
be a lot of fun.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll see more videos and stuff like that coming out online as people get to go in and spend more time there than just the preview. And from what I understand, those that are seeing the preview aren't seeing everything because they haven't turned everything on yet. So it's like right up to the last second after years of building, they're still putting on finishing touches even right as the door's about to open.
It's Disney. It has to be perfect.
It does have to be perfect. Well, before we go, let's get a quick update from Mr. Splash, who just happened to be in Florida this past week fishing. Tell us real quick how'd it go?
It's nice. It was very hot, but it was always a good time. I love being in Florida. So I wasn't in Orlando though. I missed that.
So did you catch any fish?
Yes, couple that were about this big. Then the rest were about that big.
More like this big. But.
Yeah, it was fun though.
So people call you Splash. So did you make a splash? Did you fall out of the boat?
No, I came close one time, but I managed to hang on. So it was almost funny, but I didn't feel like getting wet that day. So.
All right. Well, congratulations, Splash, on graduating college a couple of weeks ago too. Good job on that.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, that's another Disney conversation for this week. This is Disney conversation number 7, and we're glad you joined us. Don't forget, if you want to see the video version of this podcast, go to www.disneyconversation.com. You can catch all our past episodes and video to boot there, or just go to your favorite podcast program app, however you get your podcast, and search for Disney Conversation to get all the other ones that we have going on. Guys, have a good week. It's good to see you. Quadruple pay next week, okay?
All right. I'm waiting on it. I still back pay
right.
from 3 weeks, but I'll take it.
Well, your checks are in the mail.
Okay, cool.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.